Hey, everybody, let's go racing. I'm Zach Peters. Thank you so much for joining, for listening, or for watching on YouTube or whatever your favorite podcast platform is. It was the Daytona 2023 500, and it was a pretty exciting race. We'll talk about it, obviously. There was a chunk there where it was sort of difficult to even enjoy watching because of some issues. We'll talk about it. So I'm just going to go down my list of notes I jotted down as I was watching the race. A shout out to my wife who let me have like uninterrupted time to watch the race, and it was a long race. So she's a champ. I was very glad to see, and I'll start here to see that Jimmy Johnson, Travis Pastrana, and Connor Daly made the race to begin with. Obviously, they had their qualifying practices and duels and stuff. I don't want to cover any of that, just to race. But it was really nice to see all of them there. It was nice to see Connor Daly finish the race. I believe he finished. And it was nice to see Travis Pastrana almost finish the race. And it was very great to see that Jimmy Johnson still got it. Man, he was up there, top 10. I think he cracked the top 5 one time there. Bad luck at the end for a lot of people there. The thing that characterized the first couple of stages of this race for me, there were a few wrecks, a few little things there. But it was pit strategy, especially in the first round of pit stops, really mixed things up. And it put the Chevys behind, but it ended up sort of working out. They sort of all bounced around there. I think the biggest issue with this race that I sort of have, and it's not even a massive issue. It turned out okay. But there's an aero issue with this car on super speedways. No one could take a chance. You can't make a third row. You can't risk it. It makes for a bad race. And it seems like they're always already on the edge of failure and mistake. And so, you go out there and you take a bump in the wrong part of your car, you're wrecked. You get caught out in the middle and only one other person comes with you, you're done, which that was characteristic before, but it was literally just impossible to get a third row going. We saw a tiny glimpse of it at the very, very end of the race, but nothing for anything that was an extended period of time. And I get it. People are trying to save their car for the end. You don't want to do that. But there's basically zero aggression that first stage, and really much the second stage until the very end of those stage breaks. And that's my sort of next point I had on here is there weren't, in the first 2/3 of the race, no aggression until the stage breaks. Now, obviously, the very end, completely different story. Madhouse, and again, I'm a Larson fan mainly, but even more than that, I'm a Hendrick fan, and so just not a great day for me, really. Bowman ended up doing pretty good. But yeah, it turned into some pretty aggressive, crazy driving at the end. As I watched the race unfold, it sort of felt like if there were no major wrecks, pits and pit strategy were going to decide this race. And actually, even with, as I typed that note in, it wrecked, which is sort of funny. Literally, as I was typing that in, it wrecked during a commercial break. It was one of those side-by-sides. And instead of cutting to the live action, they just let the commercials keep playing. And that about drove me insane because you're watching a wreck happen for like a minute and a half and nothing to do, just looking at a tiny screen with no commentary to see what exactly is going on. They just didn't come back from commercial break. It drives me insane. Fox, get your act together. Why would you not cut and go back into the action? That's half of the reason why people watch the races, and you missed it. You dropped the ball. In that wreck, that bump from Harvick that caused their wreck with Reddick and others wasn't really a big bump. Reddick seemed to be a little sketchy anyways. I think that was sort of the first time that he was sort of up front and hadn't been in that position a whole lot, and he looked on edge, and I think that just a little bump on the back left sent him right over the edge. Throughout the race, I thought the Ford's organization was sort of on point. Off and on all day long, Ford had people all up in the top 10. RFK, man, I was impressed with RFK. They look sharp. Busher and Keselowski, they had it going on for a while. Bad luck. They couldn't really do anything about it. but they were a strong pairing, and I hope it's good for parity that they become a better team than they were last year, and they showed flashes last year. So hopefully this is just another continuation of their transformation into a contending team on a regular basis. But Force, just in general, looked really good. Obviously, Logano ended up coming in second somehow. He just disappeared for most of the race until the very end. There's a big wreck with 19 to go, and that's when everything started going downhill for a lot of people, for a lot of big names, for a lot of really, really good race cars and race teams. That 19 to go took out a ton of people. And listen, big wreck at the very end. Oh my gosh, I thought the race was over. My adrenaline was going insane. I had to sprint up and down my steps to get that adrenaline out of my system because I felt, that anxious feeling, which is usually just adrenaline that your body doesn't know what to do with. So I was sprinting up my steps just to get rid of it. And by sprinting, I mean going as fast as I can as an out of shape 33-year-old. Great moves by the 47 on the 5, sort of right before that wreck happened. I was excited about that. That 5, again, Larson's my favorite, but just being in that position gets you a little excited there towards the end. And it was both a terrible and great finish for a lot of people, right? A lot of people were happy to find a way to be in the top 10. 47, Ricky Stenhouse, what a great win for that team. Great win for a one-car team at the biggest race of the year. I think they've not won in a long time. So a great win. Unfortunately, a lot of my favorite drivers were just destroyed. So it's sort of like Johnson, who had done good all day, is gone. Larson, gone all day long. Yeah, and Travis Pastrana, he was in the top 10, and he got bumped and taken out. So it's great finish on one hand, terrible finish on the other hand. All in all, I'm excited to see where maybe these where the numbers and the ratings are for this race. But until then, just appreciate the moment. Great win, great race. Hate to see some of my favorite people get knocked out early and late whenever they were in really good positions. But that's how Daytona works. I hope, if there's one thing, my one complaint is I hope maybe, I know they're spending a lot of time focusing on packages for short tracks and for road courses. And I know the whole point of this car was not to have 13 different types of packages for all the races that they do. But we did lose something on our speedway races with this new car. The underbody aero stuff just means that there is no room for error if you're looking to be aggressive, looking to make your way through the pack from the back. I don't know what you do. I'm not an engineer. I don't know the details. So, but maybe they can do something. They're smarter than I am. But hey, thank you for joining. Let's go racing next week, and enjoy your week. Bye.